You're listening to Something Cheeky, a collection of podcasts where two sisters discuss TV, books, and movies with just enough irreverence and far too many pop culture references.
Welcome to Something Cheeky, the Gentleman Bastards edition, where we discuss The Lies of Locke Lamora, book 1 of the series by Scott Lynch. I'm Nikki.
I'm Rosanna.
While I've read the entire series, Rosanna's only read up to what we're covering today, which is Chapter 3, called Imaginary Men. In this chapter, Locke's con reaches twisty heights even M. Night Shyamalan would envy. So, Rosanna, what was your reaction to this chapter?
Nikki, I really liked this chapter.
Oh, good!
I enjoyed it a lot. I like this chapter because it had a lot of action, but then on top of that, it also had a lot of information.
Oh, yeah.
So I felt like I was getting more of the background of the story, but also things were happening and this con was moving along. Mm-hmm. And so I was really excited to see that. And I was really happy to see that it wasn't just this trick that they laid out in the beginning, but there was so much more to it. Mm-hmm. I was really excited because I was hoping for that. I was hoping for there to be more to it. Mm-hmm. Because these guys are stealing a lot of money and they've been doing it for a while. So there have to be layers, I guess. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I really, really enjoyed this chapter. It really makes me want to just keep reading.
Yeah, we got so much background information we hadn't known about before.
Yes.
And none of it was in an expositional way.
Right.
Which was such a nice departure from the way so many books do it.
And also, we got Callow and Galdo again.
Yes.
They were back. They had a big part in this chapter, and I love them so much. They had so many great lines. Mm-hmm. They really did. They're so much fun. They're just like, to me, they're my new Fred and George. I love them so much.
That's great.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite quote?
I do have a favorite quote. It's not a character. It's from the book, and it is very long. So,
go ahead.
This is my quote. A crimper's hood, for those of you who've never had the occasion to be kidnapped and sold into slavery in one of the cities on the Iron Sea, looks a bit like a tent as it flutters quickly downward, borne by weight sewn into its bottom edges. And I picked that one because it said, for those of you who have never had the occasion to be kidnapped and sold into slavery. And that's not even somebody's quote. That's just the author being hilarious.
That was really great.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that. It really makes me feel like this book is just going to keep getting better. Mm-hmm. Because this author is amazing. He's so good.
I feel like he really starts to hit his stride in this chapter, too. I mean, it felt good before, but you're really just getting things from all sides, and they're really flowing so well.
Yeah, I really feel like the book is, especially this chapter, I agree, has really got me hooked in. I want to know what's happening next. Mm-hmm.
The way he uses time is so much fun.
Yeah.
He jumps back and forth, so you get pieces and they fit together.
And he doesn't do it so much that it's confusing. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, the first line of the jump, I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. But as soon as you keep reading, you're like, oh, of course. So, yeah. And it really just makes all the intrigue more interesting. Just seeing how the planning is happening in concert with the actual con. Yes. I liked that a lot. I really like his writing style for sure. Yeah. So let's get into the action. Okay. I did my notes a little differently, so I thought I'd work us through the action separately, or differently than I usually do. Okay. I realized we have basically two different timelines happening. Yes. We have, things that are actually happening in the study, the con with the Dawn, and also everything happening beforehand. The prep, yeah. Yes. That's true. So we're talking about all the prep first, and then we're going to talk about the Dawn. Okay. Yeah. So, if we start with that, we get all the gentleman bastards playing the liar game in the little burrow, and Locke's at the head of the table, which, when I first read this, I think I immediately thought, why is Locke at the head of the table? Mm-hmm. Where is Father Chains? Did you notice that he wasn't there? I did, and I had an inkling anyway. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so... I love that everyone was so proud of Bug. Yes.
It's just their little brother, and it's adorable.
It is.
So much like a real family.
Yeah.
We find out that Bug has joined after Father Chains died, which means that Locke is now acquiring orphans.
Right.
Where is he getting them from the thief maker? Is he just finding orphans on the street? I love to imagine him getting almost pickpocketed by Bug at some point, and he's like, oh, hey, you should come join us.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. But I have no idea. I can't imagine, if the thief maker's still even alive, I can't imagine Locke would ever go to him.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Unless he just saves everyone he has. But that also seems unlikely.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. Locke is really sheepish about talking about Sabbatha.
Yes.
We find out they were in love. The heartache seems really fresh.
Yes.
So, it also... I want to know about Sabbatha. I'm so impatient to meet her, to find out about her. And it seems like every time we hear about her, she just left. So,
yeah.
we can't find out. You know, last time she was off on some educational mission. Now, she had just been there and then left for some other town. Mm-hmm. So where is she, and why can't I find out about her? Everything that we hear about her is even super vague. Even, it was Galdo. He said, we don't blame you for the way you feel. We know she was her. Thanks for the detail, Galdo. I really appreciate it.
I think
details.
We can assume that Sabbatha is a brunette.
Okay.
Just because
that he wasn't into blondes.
Doesn't go for blondes. Mm-hmm. So.
So we know that she's a thief and she has dark hair.
Yeah.
So much information.
Yeah, there's something so intriguing about a girl thief. I don't know what it is, but I really want to meet her. I really want information.
And I wonder how much she even really fits in with them. I mean, they call themselves the Gentleman Bastards, so immediately she's kind of on the outside.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
But maybe that didn't matter to her. I don't know.
Maybe. See, I wish I could read some more.
It's all supposition. They give us, we've hardly had any information about her. Mm-hmm. I want to know more.
Same.
Yeah, definitely. I just keep thinking of her, since we're covering Vikings at the same time, I keep thinking of Sabbatha and Lagertha on the same wavelength.
Yes.
I think I know I like Lagertha. I think I like Sabbatha. I don't really know, but I feel like I would if I met her.
I totally agree.
Mm-hmm. I think they would get along.
Yeah, definitely.
Which makes no sense, because obviously we haven't met Sabbatha yet, but still.
We're just going to assume that until we're told otherwise.
I feel like the kind of woman that would have a relationship with Locke is someone I would like.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds fair.
Yeah. Also someone that would break his heart.
Well, that could have been from her or him or mutual. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We learn about how the burrow is set up, which was another thing that made me think about Sabbatha. So it has 3 portions. It's got the kitchen, the sleeping area with wooden partitions, and then the wardrobe. All I could imagine when they talked about, and it was just such a short line, just the wooden partitions, is if Locke and Sabbatha were in a relationship and everyone's in one room with wooden partitions,
and they're in their 20s.
Does everyone know exactly what's happening all the time between the two of them? Yeah, they're old enough to be getting it on, so...
Yeah. I didn't even think about that, Nikki, you pervert.
I know, I can't help it.
I was so excited about the description of the wardrobe.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds amazing.
It had so much cool stuff.
Yeah, and I also loved that they know how to sew, and they know how to dye hair, and they have so many great skills and talents. It's just awesome. And
Jean seems to be one of the ones that's best at all of those things.
Yeah. I'm starting to like Jean even more. Mm-hmm. At first I was like, whatever, he's just a, a character, whatever. Mm-hmm. But he also has great lines, and he seems like an integral part of the team. And, none of them are rude or snotty. They just get along like they're actually a family.
Yeah, I loved the image of Jean coming in. He had the glasses on. He was reading the Sappy book, according to one of the twins.
I loved that.
And then he started sewing. I pictured him like some little grandma puttering around, sewing up things and wearing his little glasses on the end of his nose.
You know, and kind of based on the description we've got of him so far, I don't know, maybe you would, but I did not expect him to be a reader.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Seems like he's a brute. He's their brute.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you don't expect them to be reading sappy love stories and wearing their little glasses and sewing. And I think it's amazing that he's both of those things.
Mm-hmm. He's their Fezzik, I just realized.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He is the Brute Squad. He's not on the Brute Squad. He is the Brute Squad.
Oh my gosh, that movie. Okay, if anybody is listening and doesn't know what we're talking about, you're crazy.
Oh, The Princess Bride.
Yes.
Watch it now.
The best movie. The best movie ever. So, yeah. Highly recommended on that one.
I think it's one of those movies where if you've never seen it and you watched it, you would probably recognize a third of the dialogue from people having quoted it in your life.
Definitely.
Until now.
Yes, I totally agree with that. So they get Locke all fancy pants.
Oh, yeah. One other thing I like about giving Jean that talent for, being their tailor and doing the makeup and the hair dye is I really like that even though Locke is our main character, he can't do everything better than anyone else.
Right. He's not good at everything.
Right. Jean is not just a better tailor, he's, better at the makeup stuff. In one part of the chapter, I think is it Galder or Callow that goes with him?
I don't know.
Well, whichever twin goes with him when they're midnighters. That twin does some arcane thing with the silk rope that Locke can't quite follow. So obviously they're better at something also than Locke is. And I appreciate that people have their different talents, and it's not like Locke is the best all the time.
And they're all
we
sidekicks.
just are kind of... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, they're all needed for their talents.
And that's the best way to make a team, because so everybody needs everybody.
Right.
It's just really smart the way they've set it up. Well, it's really smart Father Chain's putting them together.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing that in Locke when he's young and accepting him and knowing that he's going to work well with the twins. That's pretty talented.
And Father Chain's definitely called it when he said he'd be in charge.
Yes, he sure
he's their Garista now.
Yeah, and he was 7, and he was like, yeah, he's going to be running it. That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, so we find out that they're going to be midnighters. Locke, at least, is going to be a midnighter 2 or 3 times. So, do you have any ideas of when else he might show up as a midnighter?
Well, no. I assumed he was just going to be going back to talk to the Dawn. But apparently there's something else to that, Nikki?
I don't know. No, it stood out to me that he said he had to be it more than once.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Because he has to be really careful where he pretends to be that. Because if he does it in front of the wrong person, the whole thing could be blown. So
yeah.
And I guess we'll talk about that later when he was in the Dawn's house. I just thought it was hilarious, the fight with the Conte. Is that
Conte?
it? Yeah. So I guess just being this midnighter, if he's going to be involved with the Dawn, he might be dealing with Conte several times. If that's what it's set up for. So he's going to have to be on his toes.
Yeah. And so we meet 3 new characters. Well, we don't meet them. We hear about them. 3 new characters that exist in this universe. There's Jesseline. Just a side mention, she's a black apothecary. I'm assuming she's one of the right people.
Right.
Because she makes things for them that I'm sure are probably illegal.
No, she's not supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just the idea of a black apothecary. I'm assuming it means like black magic, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then Grey King, who apparently is having a war with the Kappa. We don't really learn much about them, but it sounds like Locke expects them to be defeated, so I don't know if we'll hear about them again. And then the Spider. So what do you think of the Spider? It seems like someone So they say that the spider is, I guess, the leader of the Midnighters.
Mm-hmm.
And can just disappear people, basically.
Yeah.
And they seem pretty scared of him, especially Locke. As far as saying he's definitely real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not a rumor, which is funny. The comparison of the spider and the thorn of Camor.
Right.
Both being, you know, supposedly rumors, but maybe they're real.
Mm-hmm.
But it made me slightly nervous with the juxtaposition of the names the spider and bug.
Oh.
I thought, oh no.
No, leave Bug alone.
And I'm gonna be straight here, I don't remember if this ever comes up, but just, I saw this next to each other and I was like, this is bad.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of the spider. I feel like we've just gotten hardly any information, any concrete information.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where that's going to go.
Yeah. Oh, so more costume stuff. The sigil that they have made for the Midnighter is more expensive even than the brandy.
Yeah.
That cost all that money.
That's crazy.
Yeah. and it was just guess because no one really knows what they look like.
Right. That also is crazy.
Yeah, so if the wrong person saw it, they'd be completely busted.
Yeah, I feel like as smart as they are and as much research they do, they still are leaving some things up to luck.
Yeah, they have to take risks.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they have pretty good chances with the things that they're...
Oh, I think
they're
so,
still
too.
as careful as they can be, but some things you just can't guarantee.
Yeah, I mean, you never know if that one wrong person is going to see you or hear you or talk to you or... Yeah, they just...
Mm-hmm.
Tricky, yeah.
Yeah. So, we go into the transition where they're going from the burrow to the Dawn's house. I loved this line. So, they get stopped by the Yellow Jackets when they're on the black horses. And it says, Locke smiled. Black-coated riders on black horses, looming out of darkness and mist. It was easy to laugh at such conceits in full daylight, but night had a way of lending weight to phantasms. Mm-hmm. There's so much theater in what he does all the time.
That was also a consideration for my favorite quote, because I thought that was really good.
Yeah, it's nice. They get to the roof of Dawn's house, and then we find out that alchemical botanists aren't just making pretty trees, they also make bizarre poisons.
Mm-hmm. On the roof, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And in her workshop, too. They're both very careful not to touch anything.
Yeah.
So now I'm starting to consider the Donna in a different light. She's not just smart, she's cunning and possibly dangerous.
Yes. Yeah.
And then they take down Conte.
Mm-hmm. With some difficulty. He really put up a fight.
Yeah, and he didn't take the panicked breath that they were counting on.
Right. Which he's not the panicking type.
No, and also, it makes me wonder if he's had things like this tried before. Maybe he has been caught and sold as a slave off the coast of whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
In your chain. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we don't know how long he's been with the Dawn. So we don't know what he did before.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he started with it. Well, he couldn't have started with him when he was young because we find out the Dawn is like 24 or 26.
24, yeah.
Yeah, which blew my mind because in my head he was a fat old guy before I got to this part. Before I got to this part, I thought he was like 50. Because did they describe him ever?
I'm not sure.
Because if they did, I totally missed that.
Well, if they did, I don't think it was with, mentions of like any gray in the hair or an aged face. It was just general, like, body type.
Yeah, I was very surprised that he was 24.
Mm-hmm.
And they also said that he had money, but then he made even more.
Yeah.
He got family money, and then he made more of it. So at 24, which is... So he's not a dummy at all.
No, he's moved quickly.
Yeah. So that was... like I said in the beginning, what I liked about this chapter is that we got action, but we also were getting all these bits of information to flesh out characters and to make the story more robust. Mm-hmm. I just really like getting all of that in one chapter.
Yeah. It's really fun.
Yeah.
So we get into Don Lorenzo Salvara's study.
Mm-hmm.
Intruders! They are midnighters. He is very surprised. It doesn't say what he's wearing, but I imagined, because we learned later in the chapter than this, that he and the Donna were in the bedroom making some noise.
Right.
So I imagined him in his pajamas.
Okay.
Just sitting in front of these very important, secretly, Duke's men kind of people.
Do you want to hear how I imagined him?
Yes, I do.
I imagined him in a thigh-length, silk, flowery robe. Like a kimono, kind of. But no pants. Just like,
oh my God.
like a short robe. Yeah. But like a man's robe. Not like he was wearing a woman's robe, but like a silk.
Are men's robes usually thigh length?
Some of them.
Okay.
I think. Well, I mean, not like just regular normal men. I don't know. That's just what I imagined. Mine's better than yours.
Yours is way better than mine. Now he's even more embarrassed.
Well, yeah.
So, big twist. Lucas is a sham.
No.
The amount of balls it must take to just explain your entire plan to your mark.
Yes,
and then expect it to keep working. It's amazing.
I know. And one of the twins said that to him, right? He's like, you just told him our entire plan. And he's like, yeah, and it totally worked, right? And it does. I loved it.
The best part of that is the Don asks what he should do when
give him all the money he asks for.
Yeah.
Well, the Duke will pay you back. It's no big deal.
Oh yeah, probably. When it said any financial issue or having a financial issue probably isn't your biggest worry here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So apparently he should be more worried about what the Duke might do if he doesn't cooperate.
Or if he blows the whole scheme. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the name, the Thorn of Camor.
Mm-hmm.
They say that it's been, bandied about in the salons of nobility around the town. The Don has heard of him before. I don't know where this name came from, but I imagine that's a name that Locke would definitely have come up with himself.
That's exactly what I thought. Yeah.
And then told people about it somehow.
Yep. And I also wonder how many people are really talking about it. Because like he said, and I thought that too, none of these people are going to want to admit that they were taken. Mm-hmm. So, even if people talk about it, I'm sure it's very whispery.
Yeah, gossip that juicy certainly has a way of
that's true.
Getting out. I was just imagining the way that came about in the first place of people calling him that. I was picturing Locke in some bar somewhere, in some fancy disguise, talking to someone else at the bar saying, have you heard about that Thorn of Camor? And starting his own rumor that way.
That's great.
It seems very possible that he also started the rumor, not just started it, but gave little details for people to pass along. Mm-hmm. So maybe the people never admitted it themselves, the victims. Mm. People think that he's Robin Hood. He steals from the rich and gives every copper to the poor.
Uh-huh.
Pretty sure he doesn't.
I don't think he does. At all.
Yeah. It's pretty useful to the gentleman bastards, though, that people keep it a secret because they're worried about their reputation. Mm-hmm. Which helps them get even more money. Because people don't think he's real. So the way that the secret piece works, apparently, it says that the nobles basically can't be stolen from. And so...
You can only steal from people who don't have any money.
Yeah. It seems like the secret piece would make the nobles pretty complacent.
Yes.
And far less worried about being swindled.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of the secret piece. I did a little bit of the math on their 3 previous victims. It was 10,000 crowns, then 20,000 crowns, and 15,000 crowns. So we know that a crown is worth 40 silver salons, which I'm going to equate to $1. So if you add all that together, that equals, I'm going to say in our money, I think saying 1 silver is probably $1. Seems right, right?
Yeah, okay.
That is $1.8 million.
Whoa.
They've stolen so far.
Whoa.
Yeah. Even if it was half that, holy crap, that's a serious amount of money.
No wonder they can afford to invest so much into their props.
Yeah.
Wow. And pay people off.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently assassins are just a thing everywhere.
There's
just like tons of assassins.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they have to pay him to not kill him. Which,
yeah.
I mean, I guess that's a thing. But then also, an assassin is hired.
Mm-hmm.
So they could go and say, okay, I won't kill you, give me money, and then kill you anyway. Why would you trust an assassin not to kill you? I don't know. That was just a side note.
Maybe that's also reputation.
I guess so. I don't know.
If you can't trust an assassin, who can you trust?
Yeah, so, interesting.
Oh. I loved the descriptions of the 3 cons they had previously pulled off because it was so much one of these things is not like the other.
Mm-hmm.
They sold fake titles to orchards to one person. Right. They got another person to think they were investing in a coup so they could get a family estate. And the third person they somehow convinced they had a soothsayer who would bring his son back to life.
Yeah.
That seems pretty different than the other ones.
Yeah.
I'm imagining the kind of skills they must have had, just the sleight of hand magic they must have had to do to make things happen.
And also, that's really sad. And it's mean to pick on somebody that's mourning the death of their child.
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with you
desperate.
People? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of mad at him about that.
Yeah. Maybe that guy was terrible. Maybe he killed his son in a fit of rage.
I don't think so.
And then wanted him back. I have no idea.
Maybe he believed the con and they gave him peace of mind.
Your son is now living on an island somewhere. He's alive, you just can't ever see him.
He's happy where he is.
Or that's maybe Locke dressed up as his son.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
Apparently he can disguise himself pretty well.
I guess.
Jean was having a really good day that day. I really want to read these stories about how they did the cons.
Yeah.
They've already done. So, there is a book that Scott Lynch is coming out with. It's a prequel.
Oh.
To the 3 books that are currently out. And I'm wondering if maybe these stories are included in that.
I was going to say, how prequel?
I'm not sure.
Because...
And I'm not positive it's about Locke.
I was going to say, it sounds like maybe it's before... Because this book starts with Locke going to the Thief Maker. So a prequel seems like it would be before that even.
Well, it seems like you could probably have a kind of prequel that had the fill-in time.
Yeah.
It filled in the years in between.
It'd be like an in the middle. It'd be like an interlude book. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I would love to be able to read those stories, though. They sound like a lot of fun. Also, the Don seems like he's being pretty gullible when I read this, because obviously we know what's going on. But thinking about it, I'm not positive I wouldn't definitely fall for this whole story.
Yeah.
He's not being very circumspect, as the Thief Maker would say.
Well, and also, they say the best way to get somebody to believe a lie is to have part of it be true. That's how you get people.
Yeah. So, for me, the genius of this whole plan is that they put the doubt in his mind about Lucas and tell him it's fake. So, if they hadn't have done that, eventually he'd probably come to wonder if it was all too good to be true. But by planting that doubt...
He knows it is.
They're controlling exactly the way that he doubts.
Yeah.
So, Locke has learned a lot from how different people are affected and how to control the consequences of everything he does. I thought that was really, really smart.
Yeah. It's a great plan.
Mm-hmm. So there's a quote that I really liked in here, and I thought you might use it for your favorite quote, but you didn't, so I'm excited to read it. This is Locke and Callow are talking, and Callow says, "You're 1/3 bad intentions, 1/3 pure avarice, and 1/8 sawdust. What's left, I'll credit, must be brains."
I like the sawdust part.
Yeah, it's Jean that says that.
Mm-hmm.
That seemed like an apt description.
That was funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many great lines in this chapter.
The fluttering shadow is back.
Yes.
And we find out it actually does have wings. It's not just implied. Right. So it's apparently not a person.
Maybe it's a person with wings, Nikki.
That's very true. Maybe it is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. We have no idea.
Mysterious, but it's still following overhead. It has bird's eye view.
Ha ha ha. I'm sorry. Still picturing it as a dragon. Until they tell me what it looks like, that's what it is.
I still feel like they'd notice a dragon flying around above them.
Well, whatever this is, they're not noticing.
Maybe, I guess it doesn't have to be a large dragon. It could be a small dragon.
It could be. Since dragons aren't real, they could be any size.
Hey, you watch your mouth. My Khaleesi's dragons are always real.
I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff in this book that's not natural, you know. So,
that is very true.
We don't know what this is.
Awesome. So, in the next episode, we're going to discuss the third interlude called The Last Mistake. All right, Rosanna, you ready for your top 3?
I am.
What's your category?
Things I totally saw coming.
Okay.
The first one was that Father Chains had died.
Oh,
I figured after 2 chapters and he wasn't there in the present and we never heard from him that's probably what had happened. And I was sad when they confirmed it, but I expected that. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of a bummer because I was bummed because he's not around, but you know, he keeps coming up in the interlude, so it's not like we totally lost him. Mm-hmm. But I think, you know, he was like a father figure to these guys, and at some point we're going to hear about his death, I'm assuming, and that's going to probably have been a rough time for them.
How do you think he died? Was it the dragon?
No, it's a nice dragon, Nikki. Hello.
Maybe he is the dragon.
Dun, dun, dun.
Reincarnation.
No, I don't think that. I guess I just assumed he was old. I just assumed it was natural causes. Now you've made me worry.
Well, that's right. It said he was around 50 when Locke went to live with him.
Yeah, but I mean, this is kind of a rough life. We don't necessarily know how long people live. That put him
at about 70.
Yeah, I mean, that's reasonable. Maybe he just got sick. You know, maybe he got a cold or a cough and it turned into pneumonia and he was too frail to fight. I don't know.
Maybe he became a shark fighter. Mm. The first male shark fighter in Khemor.
The first male elderly shark fighter. I don't think that's what happened either.
I'm imagining him doing the Gandalf move where he has the big staff and he's in his robe and he's swinging it around and beating people up really fast.
Oh, actually, I really like that image. Yes. I'm on board with that.
With his blindfold.
Yeah, even better.
That would be even better. Can you draw this?
No.
I need a little drawing of him whipping his staff around. I need an eyeless priest cartoon.
Yeah, that would be really cute.
Yeah.
All right.
Listeners, if any of you can draw, please draw me this picture.
That'd be lovely. Yes.
I want it. We'll post it on our website. It'll be great. Okay.
All right.
I need the picture.
So my number 2 thing I totally saw coming was that Locke loved Sabbatha.
So how did you see this coming? I did not see it coming.
So she wasn't there when he first came to Father Chains, but I assumed that they were of similar ages. And so when we start to hear, you know, this sort of argument-ish at dinner, you know, when they bring her up, I just wasn't surprised at all because I guess partly too about what Gene said about how he didn't go for blondes. That made me think not only he doesn't go for blondes, but that he has been with somebody. And that to me was just, I don't want to say it was an obvious conclusion, but it was a reasonable.
When we've only met one woman in the story.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably that woman he was
probably
in love
that
with.
one. Yeah, I just assumed that there was going to be some history. Otherwise, Gene wouldn't even know what his type was. And so, yeah, it didn't take a big leap for me to get to Sabbatha.
Yeah, we haven't met enough women yet to even consider passing the Bechdel test.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
We have a single woman character.
Right. Well, two, because of the wife, the Donna.
Oh, that's right.
But Sabbatha kind of doesn't even count yet. Because she's never there.
She's always just out of frame.
And the third thing I totally saw coming was that the Duke's men were gentlemen bastards. I wasn't sure which ones they were. But as soon as they started talking about them in the study, I was like, oh, that's the boys. I was like, and as soon as I realized that that's who it was, I was like, oh, this plan is getting so much better. So.
I'm surprised at how much I have forgotten from when I read this the first time.
Yeah, well, because we talked about you probably just read it too fast.
I really did. Rosanna, do you have any predictions for what's going to happen next?
Nikki, predictions. Not really. I don't know.
What about for the next step in the plan?
Well, okay, so what
do you think it is?
I'm guessing that the Dawn and Lucas are going to meet again, and I'm actually really stoked to see this scene unfold with the Dawn knowing that he's being conned and how he acts around.
And he's supposed to act like he hasn't found out anything.
Right, but I mean, I'm assuming that's going to be difficult because I'm sure he's mad. You know, because somebody's trying to take advantage of him. So I don't know how he's going to still be friendly and enthusiastic.
That could really work in Locke's favor because if he's so busy trying to act like he doesn't know, he may more easily believe other things. Not that Lucas says, but that the Midnighters say, or
I'm gonna
maybe so busy trying to put on an act.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that in the next chapter or couple of chapters, he's going to meet with Locke as both men again. We're gonna get more interaction, but I'm not sure how it's gonna go.
What do you think about the Donna?
I think she's gonna come back into it. I feel like she's gonna be irritated too when the Dawn
probably even more.
When the Dawn tells her. I don't know. I don't see him not telling her. I mean, I think he's definitely going to, and I don't think she's gonna have a good reaction.
Yeah.
I guess. And now, thanks to what you said earlier, I'm worried about Bug. So,
I'm sure it's fine.
And I'm hoping at some point Sabbatha's gonna come back. I don't expect to see her in the next chapter. Maybe not after that either, but I hope, eventually she does come back and we learn more about her.
If she does come back, how do you expect it to be? As something in the interlude, maybe, where they meet for the first time, or something in current times where they're broken up? I'm
gonna go with current time first.
Okay.
I think probably there will be an interlude where we hear about them meeting and how they got together and everything, but I expect to see her first in the present time.
Okay. Any predictions about anyone else? The twins or Jean?
They're just going to keep on going along with this thing because they're so dang good at it and they want some money.
Yeah, even the whichever twin it was, Callow was surprised that they got away with the double cross. that Locke is doing.
Yeah, it sounds to me like this was definitely Locke's idea, and that based on the past, 4 years, they trust, even if they don't understand or don't have a lot of confidence in it, they trust him that he knows what he's doing.
And also the fact that he was surprised that it worked makes me think that Locke's plans are getting more ambitious.
Yes.
And more complex.
Definitely.
Which is fun, because that means that every new thing that happens is probably has way more going on than we realize at first. I'm really, really happy with Scott Lynch's writing. It's just getting better and better. But I love that it didn't go straight into the explanation of what was happening. It made us feel the same way that the Dawn did at first. With the total surprise and then realizing who they actually were. Yeah, I like that.
Me too.
Now it's time for Cheek of the Week, where we talk about something good. So, my Cheek of the Week is a pair of pajamas that I was inspired to talk about because the Dawn, well, I imagined he was wearing pajamas. It's not as awesome as the kimono that Rosanna gave him, but they're still pretty nice. So last year for Christmas, I got my husband a pair of really nice, really, really soft flannel pajamas. They're just so soft, and they are really warm. And they're this really lovely navy blue with kind of a white pale pinstripe on them. They're very attractive. They look very Don Draper to me. I like them very much. I want to wear them, but they're way too big. But I really like them, and I think he really likes them too. Noble Mount is the brand. They're 100% cotton flannel pajamas, and they're the full long sleeve shirt and long pants. And they're awesome, and everyone should get them.
They sound nice.
Yeah. What about you, Rosanna?
So my Cheek of the Week is not a product. I am going to mom out right now and brag on my daughters. 2 of my daughters are in middle school, and they had a spirit week this week, so they dress up every day. And a couple of days ago, the day was fictional characters dress up day. Ooh. So my 6th grade daughter dressed up like Hermione. So cute. She wore a Gryffindor sweater and a Gryffindor tie and a little black skirt and knee socks. It was adorable. She was perfect, and we got her hair all frizzed out, so it was giant. And then my 8th grade daughter dressed up like Louise Belcher from Bob's Burgers.
Oh, nice.
She had just a plain green short sleeve dress, and then our mother made her these adorable, it's like I've never seen the show, but I guess she wears what looks like a pink hood with bunny ears sticking
It's a little hat, yeah.
Yeah, and so Mom made that for Riley, and they both looked perfect. I posted a picture of them, a picture of each girl, and then a screenshot of the character that I found online, and they were it was perfect. They were probably the best costumes in the entire school. I'm just going to assume that they were the best costumes in the entire school because they looked so great. And I was so excited about it because they were excited. We took pictures in the morning, and it was almost like a mini Halloween.
I can't believe you've never seen Bob's Burgers. It's so fun. I love that show.
Yeah, they say that a couple of people have said they're surprised I let Riley watch it, but she's 14, and
that's plenty old enough to watch that show.
I feel like whatever she's seeing on Bob's Burgers, she's hearing a lot worse at school. And she's pretty mature, so I'm gonna let it go for a little bit. And I think that probably someday I'll watch it, but I'm kind of in the middle of some other shows.
Yeah.
I can't commit to too many.
So there's this piece of trivia about Bob's Burgers that I read, and it's the funniest thing. So on Bob's Burgers, there are 3 children. The oldest is a girl named Tina, who is about 14. And originally, when they first wrote the show and pitched it, the oldest child was a boy. I don't know what his name was. So they hired a voice actor to play this part. Tino. But they hired a male voice actor to play the part, and then they changed it later when they were going to start making the show, they changed it to a girl, but they kept the same voice actor.
What?
Yeah, so Tina
is a guy.
Tina is voiced by a man.
Oh my
gosh. It's hilarious because she has such a voice that's kind of monotone, and it's really, God, it's great. The characters are fantastic.
That kind of makes me want to watch it.
It's so funny.
That part.
Yeah. It's fantastic. That show is really, really funny.
Oh my gosh. All right, listeners, you can find all of our Cheeks of the Week and send us your questions on our website, somethingcheekypodcast.com. And also, if you happen to buy any of the stuff that we're talking about, we would love to hear your feedback about it.
Oh, yeah. And you can use our Amazon affiliate link to buy that.
Yeah, and send us a picture.
On our website. Yeah, use all our stuff, because we love it.
Yes, we do.
We buy all the stuff that we talk about.
Yep.
Because we think it's so great. So that's our episode. Please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. And you can follow us on Twitter at SomeCheek. And if anyone wants to draw the picture of Father Chains with a Gandalf staff fighting someone while he's wearing a blindfold, I will love you forever.
Yes.
Send it. We will post it on our website and Twitter.
And also, you guys should check out our other podcast where we talk about the TV series Vikings. And Gandalf also comes up in that as we discuss it too.
Gandalf is always appropriate.
He's universal. Yes.
He really is. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Da 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 da.